Well, and asking questions.
Yeah, of course. Oh, of course. Weather has been terrible, my man.
Indeed.
Right, Alien, the Sussex Statman, Chris Pryor, the best in the business when it comes to stats on Sussex non-league football. Alien, what you got for me?
Lots and lots of geeky shit. So let's get cracking with this.
I love it. I mean, it's been a month now. You do this monthly show. Stats are building up. It has been a crazy few days in Sussex non-league football out there. But you're here to talk about the things that count for those coaches, those players, managers, and even supporters. You're here to talk about the stats.
You bet, my friend.
Statman, born an alien. What have we got? Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Right. You just have to bear with me a minute. Can you see my screen?
We can now, mate.
Banger. And what about if I do this?
Even better.
Perfect. Right.
Beautiful couple of logos we've got there.
Without further ado, then, let's crack it on. Start with the National League South. New headers. You'll notice this looks a lot different from the last two. The reason for that is so that it can be put into PDF without me having to do anything. So,
does that mean it's going to go on the app eventually then?
Oh, you bet. That's the aim. So, let's go. So, what's been occurring? Well, I think since we last recorded, two of the sides have changed manager in Worthing and Eastbourne Borough. Eastbourne Borough got rid of their old manager. Eh?
Mr. Gray, wasn't it?
Yes, Matt Gray. Brought in Tommy Widrington back from Aldershot. And since then, I mean, he's won Eastbourne's only 2 games of the season so far, Eastbourne Borough, I should say. But obviously lost the other 4. Worthing, since they bought, Chris Haggerty went to Sutton, and they replaced him with returning legend Adam Hinchelwood.
The king has returned, they said.
Indeed he has. And he started very well with 5 wins. The last 2 to 0, which I'm sure will make him smile a lot. But top of the tree in Sussex, as far as we're concerned, is Horsham FC, who have gone on a, quite frankly, ridiculous run. They're now, I mean, according to the graphic there, 8 unbeaten. They've kept 3 clean sheets in 4, and they're up to 4th place now in the playoffs, firmly ensconced in the playoff places. What a brilliant start to life at step 2 for Horsham. Yeah,
Dom De Paula. We had him on the SNLF show last week. Guy that I know well, grew up with, played under. He's done a fantastic job in the 10 years he's been there. You know, I mean, I think he's probably already excelled where the Lardy Army thought he could get to at the moment. And he just seems to kick on and on again. But what do the numbers tell me?
Well, the numbers, I mean, I've actually got a bit more on Worthing, but we'll come to them in just a minute, not Worthing, Horsham. In fact, I have a bit more. I do have a bit more on Worthing as well. But, I mean, this is the form guide at the moment on the National League South. And from a Sussex point of view, it's very nice reading indeed, with the top 2, Horsham and Worthing. Horsham have dropped 2 points in their last 6 games. Which is pretty mad stuff. I mean, the fixtures haven't been too bad, but even so, you've still got to win them, and that they have been in the main. And they've got Worthing on their coattails, who, as I said a moment ago, have won 5 in a row now. So they're starting a motor at just the right time. I mean, Hornchurch are top. They're unbeaten. They're unbeaten in 6. I think they might be unbeaten all season, actually. But you are right. You're right. They are. So Horsham and Worthing to be above those two in the form, to be above Hornchurch in the form guide is going some. In terms of Borough, Eastbourne Borough have collected 6 from their last 6. That was after getting 5 from their first 10. So it is an improvement for Borough. They are now winning games, which they previously weren't. And the defensive record isn't awful. I mean, they lost 3-0 at Maidstone. That can happen. Maidstone, and they've won 4 of the last 6, so they're doing all right. So that can happen. Yeah, they're gonna, as you said on the pod the other night, they're gonna have to start getting in gear sooner rather than later, because otherwise this league will, chew you up and spit you out.
Absolutely agree.
Now, in terms of Borough, this is what I mean about their where their problems lie. Defensively, it's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. But
Chris, can you, just for people that may have just tuned in, first off, can you explain a bit about what this crazy graph is? Because I love this one.
Sure. So what this is for each of the teams that we cover in the 6 divisions we cover, how many goals they score a game, going up the top here, and across the bottom here is how many goals they concede per game. So what you want to be is in this top left-hand corner here, or as close to it as you can be. You don't want to be in this bottom red box, because that would imply that you're not scoring goals and you are shipping them. Now, the boxes are for all of the 6 leagues that we cover. But what you see here is just for the National League South. And there are far fewer goals. I think the average goals per game in the National League South is 2.53, which is markedly lower than all the other leagues we cover. Which I think probably, more due to probably full-time. You got a lot more teams that are full-time at this level. In that you have some of them. So, I think that's why it's a bit more condensed into this bottom left-hand corner here. But Eastbourne Borough don't even score a goal a game at the moment this season, which must be a concern, because obviously if you're not scoring goals, you can't win games. And that is something they very much need to do at the moment. I think it's only Chippenham. Chippenham have the same output, and Salisbury is marginally worse. But beyond that, there's not a great deal of, the others are quite a bit away above that, averaging around a goal a game. Horsham have got the 4th best defence in the league, which again, considering
4th best defence, considering they're a team that come up that everyone said they're looking to finish 15th, 16th, 17th.
Yeah, 100%. This is their first season at Step 2. So for them to have that sort of record, is telling. And Worthing have got the 2nd best attack, only just off Hornchurch, who are the leaders, who, as I said, are unbeaten. That's how close they are. So
has that changed, though, Chris, over the last month or so since Hinch has come back in? Has that increased with their goals?
That's a good question. And let's have a look at that now, shall we? So in terms of that, yes. In Chris Agata's last few, up until he left, they'd managed to not score in 5 games of their 10. So under Agata, or Aggie, they'd not scored in half their games.
Okay.
And under Hinge, they've scored in every game. And average about, what's that? 10, 12, 14. Nearly 3 goals a game.
Which is fantastic in that league.
Well, yeah, very much so. Unless, you look at them last 6 games, they've scored 14 in 6. That's over 2 a game. So that's definitely an improvement under what they were doing under Aggie. They've not, again, they'd failed to score a lot of times. To not score in half your games is pretty worrying. And that's what they were doing. But now they seem to be motoring, even though they've lost Temi Babalola, who I think went to Forest Green. So
yeah, I was a big fan of his. I've seen him live a few times, and the last few times it didn't wow me,
Okay. Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I haven't seen much to any of Worthing. I saw them that night when Forest Green came to town. And to be fair, I don't think that's the sort of game you want to be judging him against, because Forest Green were just a cut above. So, but yeah, they've seemed to have not lost out in any meaningful sense from his departure. So, they're motoring at just the right time. Now I've put on there the fixture list, what they've had so far, and also just the next sort of 10 or so games, just because fixtures change quite a lot at this level. I didn't see the point of putting the whole fixture list on there. But those fixtures coming up in late November, early December, that's a tough run.
What have we got? What have we got
Torquay, so we got here Torquay away, the unbeaten leaders Hornchurch at home, Ebbsfleet away, who of course were National League Step 1 last season, and Weston-super-Mare, who are up there with Hornchurch at the top.
So you're saying this is an acid test over the next month for them?
I'd say so. I think we'll learn quite a bit about Worthing in the next few weeks for sure.
Before we start hitting the festive break, where there's going to be some derbies, there's going to be a lot of games over a few days. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, if you look at the fixtures they've got over that festive break, they're all teams who are struggling, with the exception of Dorking. So you got Dorking, but you've also got Farnborough at home, who I think are in the bottom. They're around that relegation battle. Eastbourne Borough are as well, and so
12 o'clock kickoff, that one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, after what happened during the sort of promotion match on was it Good Friday they played? There was
a little bit of trouble down there.
There was, yeah. So I can't say I'm massively shocked by that one, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, Worthing's next game tomorrow, they've got Totton at home, and Totton, of course, I think they're new to the level as well, but they've started very, very well. They've got James Beattie, the former England striker, as sporting director there, I think.
You're joking? I remember him. Did he used to play for Southampton back in the day?
He did, yeah, and Sheffield United as well. I know this because they played Lewis actually in the trophy last season, and I was at the game at the Dripping Pan, and I got a selfie with James Beattie from a Sheffield United supporting friend back home, just to say, look who I met. But yeah, so that's not going to be an easy game either. It's going to be an interesting watch, Worthing, over the next few weeks, that's for sure.
Well, I've tipped them to be bang there in the playoffs when everyone said, well, especially the other lads said, no, I think they might struggle. And look, 5 on the bounce. Let's go.
Well, I mean, the manager did change in fairness, but yes, you're right. Now,
got to believe in your team.
Sugar, hang on. I'm losing my mind here. Oh, here we go. Just want to go back on Horsham again. Look at that little league chart in the top left, in the top right-hand corner there, the journey that they've taken so far. I mean,
they've just gone up. I mean, how have they turned that? How have they done that? What I want to drill into I'm sure you can talk about, is who they played compared to where they've played in the league table. That's what I want to know about.
Well,
I want to know if they've had that easier run and they've took the points out, or if they've still been punching middleweights in cruiserweight divisions.
I think. Well, I said to Dom on Wednesday that the fixtures are about to turn, and the reason for that is, I mean, you look at these teams they've played.
Crystal ball. You're like that. The fixtures are about to turn.
But I've got these graphs here, which the one that looks like a mobile signal here is there to sort of give an indication of how difficult or easy a game might be.
Okay.
So you see here, based on what they've done at home or away. So if it's away, like Hornchurch here, that's red. It's a really difficult one because Hornchurch are very good at home. I mean, they're very good everywhere, to be fair. And yet Horsham got a point there, which is a fantastic result. And then they've had Dover, who are sort of also freshly promoted. I think they came up together from the South Isthmian Prem last year. Tunbridge Angels have been struggling. Dagenham haven't adjusted particularly well to the level. Enfield, I think, are down in the on the edge of, if not in the relegation zone. But then coming up, they've got Hemel Hempstead away, who are flying. Ebbsfleet away. Again, they used to be Step 1.
Yeah.
Weston-super-Mare are up there with Hornchurch in terms of their league position. So there's going to be a few. Dorking away on Boxing Day. That's not going to be an easy one. So
both managers know each other very well. They're good friends as well. Mark and
indeed. Yeah, well, 2 very good managers. So it's going to look, given who they've played and where they've come from, I don't think you could ask for a better start than 29 points. If we're saying 50 is what you need to stay up, they're pretty much halfway there, which is just a phenomenal achievement. So,
would you now think though that having achieved so much in such a short space of time this season, that now Horsham are now not looking at just survival. Maybe their fans are starting to believe a little bit.
Maybe they are. Yeah, I mean, they've not been outclassed in a game. You know, Tottenham at home, they lost 2-0. That's the only time they've lost by more than one goal. You know, they've done very. You know, even the one time they've conceded more than 2 goals, they've only done that once, by the way. They've only conceded more than 2 on one occasion. That was Worthing.
That was Worthing. Wasn't it? And they were 3-1. They were 3-1 up in that game, if I'm right in saying. And they came back.
You know, you might be right actually. Yeah, and that was their first home game at Step 2. You know, and it was not a derby as such, but it certainly was an occasion for them. But since and look, you can lose a game by a single goal. It happens. So they've they've not been outclassed yet. The potential is whatever they want it to be at the moment. They can just go into games fearless. I think they've probably already done more than a lot of people expected.
Yeah, I agree. And long may it continue.
Indeed. So in terms of what's coming up, as I said, Horsham's fixtures are about to turn. They've got Hampton and Richmond on tomorrow, so I'm sure they'll have their eyes firmly on winning that one. And then it's that tricky run of Hemel, Ebbsfleet and Weston-super-Mare before a trip to Chippenham. Worthing, again, their fixtures are about to get quite sticky as well.
Go on, tell me.
Trips to Torquay. Well, it starts from the Tuesday the 25th. They're away at Torquay. They've got Hornchurch leaders at home. And then it's trips to Ebbsfleet and Weston-super-Mare, who are second. So they've got each of the top 3 basically from late November to early December.
But this is where their gaffer will want to see where they are in comparison. He will know, he's 5 on the bounce. He can't be going into that in any better form. He's starting to get his buzz out from the team. He did it a lot quicker than people thought. He went straight in there, started changing it around. And look at that, 5 on the bounce. There's no trying to polish it up. The next few games are going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
But if they come out of them with 7 points, what's the rest of the league going to be saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be playing, I'm sure each of them sides will also be thinking, God, it's Worthing. So, it's going to be a good tranche of games. We'll learn a lot. I think it'll be really entertaining for the fans as well. But I think arguably the biggest game on this tomorrow is at Priory Lane. Eastbourne Borough hosting Chippenham, the one team who are below them in the league. And that is one that I'm sure Tommy Widrington will be pointing at to say we need to win that, particularly when you look at the fact they've got Torquay and Dorking away coming up straight afterwards.
Are we in 6-pointer territory?
Absolutely. For Borough, yes, absolutely. I just moved that away from there. Yeah, it's absolutely a 6-pointer for Borough. I'm sure we'll review that in detail on Wednesday.
I'm sure.
Right. On to the Isthmian Prem, where we've got 4 teams highlighted there. What's been going on here? Well, we have new leaders, not a Sussex team, but Folkestone Invicta went top at the weekend after Brentwood Town lost at the Dripping Pan. Which
was a bit of a surprise.
It was a bit of a surprise, yeah. I mean, we've also had a team change their manager in this league as well with Lewis.
Coach bit.
Yeah, with Pritchard going and Craig Nelson coming back. So, and since then, to be fair, they've not lost in 3.
Okay.
A big improvement from where they were going, which we will come on to in a minute. They were not in particularly great shakes at that point. I think they were propping up the form guide. So
no, they lost 3-0, lost 3-0, lost 4-0. So yeah, and they've come in. Okay.
Now Brentwood Town have not had a particularly good few days in Sussex because they also lost at Whitehawk on Saturday. Was it on Saturday? No, the previous midweek. Sorry, Wednesday. They lost 2-1 at Whitehawk. Who?
Yep, that's correct.
Quietly going about their business as well. You know, it is quite a condensed league, this one. In that, I mean, if you look at the bottom 4 there, I mean, Cray Valley are in it with 13 points.
Do you think they're in trouble, Cray Valley? Because I think more was expected of them this year, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, they nearly got in the playoffs last year.
That's what I mean. I know Trevor. Trevor knows he's got people inside that camp. He knows them. It might be one to just pick up on when we speak to him.
I expected Paper Mills. I thought they would be a force to be reckoned with, but it would appear they're not really pushing the envelope. They're just folding, which is unfortunate for them. But in terms of, I mean, Burgess Hill, going back to the Sussex sides, they've won 3 of the last 5. And again, they're adjusting very nicely to life. Back at step 3, doing really, really well.
They sadly had a break in the last night, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah. They said it was attempted.
Yeah.
They said it was an attempted break-in, which is a bit sad. Now, then we come to Chichester. Now, Chichester, I should probably have gone with a different graphic for this one. Chichester are 15th in the table, but they've lost very, very, very few games. In fact, I think they've got the best defence in the league. But obviously, the issue they have is fixtures, having not played as many as the rest. So that is what it is. But in terms of how they're doing points-wise, again, I mean, they've kept 3 clean sheets in the last 4. You know, they drew with Billericay, who a lot was expected of them. I appreciate they've not lived up to it so far. But also, you know, they beat Lewis at home 3-0, which was, I think, their first game back. And that was, you know, that was just before Pritchard lost his job at Lewis. Sorry, I don't know his first name. But, since the manager lost his job there. So Chichester are fine, really. And I think once their fixtures start catching up, once they start catching up with them games, I think that'll show in the table.
Oh, fantastic.
And when I said what I said about this being quite a sort of congested league here, I mean, the fact that everybody's got at least 3 points in the last 6 kind of points to that. You know, other than Aveley and Wingate, you know, I think most teams have either lost a game or, in the case of Dulwich, just they've drawn them all. Dulwich at the minute. So yeah, the form guide's a bit mishmash really. When we come to say the combination in Prem later, that form guide tells a bit more of a story. This tells a story, but it's just that, you know, no one's really running away with it, and there's quite a lot condensed between sort of 11 and 6 points in there. Now, coming
phone's
back,
broke. Just to let you know, up the Dons, the phone's broke. But don't worry.
So
sorry, Chris.
I'm showing this chart again, primarily to highlight Chichester, actually, and the fact that they have got the best defence in the league, even though they're 17th in it, which just shows you that their fixture situation is what the main driver of them being so far down the table. But Whitehawk too. Whitehawk have got a very good defence at this level. 5th best defence in the league.
When are we getting him on the show? Oh, Sean, Mr. Saunders. When is he getting on?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he likes that media type thing, does he? But Julian, talk to me about Whitehawk, because it seems like he's done great things there now since he come on. There was a lot of last season. There was a lot of disdain at the club. You know, there was things going on. He came back, got him going again. It looks like he's kicking on again this season on pretty limited resources, I think.
Well, I would imagine very limited resources. And the reason I say that is I remember looking at the bookmakers' odds at the start of the season, and they were the outside. Now, they don't bet on relegation, but if you just do an inverse of the league winning odds to work out who they think will go, Whitehawk were the rank outsiders. Like people, so you know, you can infer from that people expected them to get relegated, but not a bit of it. They've been very good so far. Again, they beat Brentwood last week, who were league leaders up until that point, or in fact up until Saturday they were league leaders. So you know, they're not they're obviously not particularly at the enclosed ground. Like you can imagine, they can make that a bit of a fortress on the slope.
Well, that's low. You get altitude at one end.
So I've been. It's a good, it's a nice day out as well. I like going down there. So I wish them well.
Me too.
Now, look at Lewis with the story really of the month, given what happened with the manager, which you can see there have marks on the chart, and on the fixture thing here, so you can see what was going on prior to the managerial change and how it's going since. Now, I appreciate it's early days.
Is that the line where the managerial change was?
Yes, here, yes.
So he's had an immediate impact. Visually, you can see an immediate impact.
You can, yeah. I think, like I said, this is quite a condensed league, so it only takes a few results to really propel you. So, but they were really. I think they might have been not as low as 18th. Clearly, they were 14th. It says here, but they were really struggling, and they'd lost. They haven't won in 7. They'd been shipping goals left, right, and centre, like 3-3, 3 and 6. They were in a bad place. Not the town. The town's lovely, but they were not doing very well. And now they seem to have brought back a bit of normality. But like I say, beating Brentwood at home, like they were flying. So
great result that was.
Yeah. So I think let's see how they get on. They've got another couple of home games coming up. Chatham's going to be tricky. Chatham are a very good side. That's not going to be an easy one, but let's see. It's encouraging signs for the Rucks for sure.
Yeah, I really hope they keep it going there. It's always good to see. Yep. Wonderful food down that dripping pan they used to do.
Yeah,
the catering was effing quality.
And I'll tell you what, the match day experience is mint as well, just for the simple fact of it's so close to the station, and Lewis has so many pubs. Like, it's a belting day out. It really is.
Sorry, how many pubs?
Far too many to count. Absolutely.
I don't think I'd make the game.
Now, in terms of fixtures coming up, there's a lot going on. I should probably have capped this a little bit, but I've gone to early December because I'm not going to be about. Let's see. We've got Whitehawk Chichester tomorrow.
Chichester tomorrow. That should be a hell of a decent game, that one.
Indeed, that'll be really fun. Burgess Hill and Lewis, both with home games they will hope to win. Particularly Burgess Hill, given Cray Valley's form at the moment.
Yeah, Gary and Jay fancy that, I'll tell you.
And then Chichester have got a couple of really tricky games coming up. They've got Dartford away on the 15th of November. United they've got Aveley away. Then it's a trip to Folkestone, who are now back playing in Folkestone rather than in Margate. And then it's Chatham at home. So that's 4 of the top 6. In fact, they've got 5 of the top 6 because they've also got Brentwood at home. So they've got 5 of the top 6 coming up with Chai. So
this is where they'll find out where they're at.
Think so.
They?
Yeah.
And look, again, if they go and take those 6 games, if they go and take 11 points out of that, something like that, they'll be happy with that going into the festive season.
Yeah, you'd hope so. But before they play any of them really tricky games, they've got the small matter of Whitehawk at home.
Oh.
So this is my little match preview, which I have been known to bandy about from time to time.
These are brilliant, Chris. I know. Just for people out that might be listening about this, Chris does this in his own time. He's not paid by the clubs or anything like that. This is a passion of his, and he does that. So look, if there's any clubs out there that are actually interested in maybe speaking further to Chris and seeing maybe what he could do moving forward or even next season, get in contact with him. And that because he is the best at what he does in the region, bar none. No one's moving like him. Sorry, mate. I just had to make that clear.
No, it's all right. I don't know anybody else who does stats in Sussex. Anyone else who is doing stats like this in Sussex can get in touch.
Is that why you're so good? There's no competition.
Yeah, it's easy to be top of a list of one, my friend. That's you pick your niche, you're good. So what this is, obviously in the league table, there's a few places between them, but it is only 2 points. And we're stating that Chichester do have 2 games in hand as well, which is quite a bit at this stage of the season. Now,
yes.
What you've got here is this is Chichester. The big ring here is Chichester's home form.
Okay.
Their away form is in the middle. And for Whitehawk, it's the inverse. This is their away form, and they're on the inside is their home.
So is that look visually? Am I looking at that and thinking draw then?
It wouldn't be the worst shout in the world, I don't think. I think both teams are doing better on the inverse, if you see what I mean. Chichester's away record, their home record's the 16th best in the division based on points. They're averaging a point a game, which isn't great for home form. But like I said on the other day, like Whitehawk are much better at the enclosed ground than they are on the road. And I think this graphic here kind of shows that. They're winning over half their games at home and they've won one away. So
two different surfaces as well, isn't it?
Well, that's it, yeah, because Chichester's is 3G, is it not?
Yes, it is. That's correct. Lovely pitch.
It'll be interesting to see how Whitehawk fare on a 3G, particularly given Ringmer last year. Obviously, when we're doing the doc and stuff, I looked at Ringmer's stats in quite a lot of detail, and they were so much better at home on that 3G surface.
Well, without going too far off the point, do you think that there's a case for that across the leagues, whether you play better on the 3G than the grass? Have you seen trends like that?
The problem I've got is trying to. I did try this before the start of the season, working out what teams are on what surface. It's remarkably difficult to do so it is something I've started building, and I will try and look at again, I think, as time goes on, once I can get a bit more of a handle on what teams are on what surface.
Because the ratios, there is a much smaller ratio of 3G pitches. However, as the season goes through, there's always a few more teams that add them. And I think more and more will do that because obviously it's a revenue generator and it creates sustainability.
And but this is the interesting point as well, is how much of it can you attribute to the surface and how much of it is down to the resources they've got in terms of playing budget? Because, at step 7 level, you can be pretty certain that there's not going to be that huge a discrepancy. And Ringmer, even if at that point in time, like Ringmer, I think they finished 4th in the league. And it's not like they were beating everybody. They were good at home, but away from home, that was a marked step down. And so you could pretty much say, well, actually, it's not like there's a huge discrepancy in revenue and playing budget here. So you can say, yeah, okay, fine, that's because of the surface. But for example, the likes of, I don't know, Folkestone or whoever in this league, I don't know who's got the biggest budgets at all. I'm really poorly connected with that. But Folkestone are a really good side. They, I presume, are not paying nothing. So how much of their home form can you attribute to them being on a 3G, and how much of it is to do with the budget? I don't know. It's really hard to separate.
Is that something you believe that these stats will be able to tell at the end of the season?
Maybe.
Okay.
So given I do this with my day job as well, like I might be able to see something, I might not. We'll see. And I'm certainly not going to say, yeah, definitely, because then if I can't, I'm knackered.
Okay.
With expectation management. Right. Here is the Isthmian Southeast. Thank you to Jersey Bulls for making me extend the map. Tossers. I jest. Welcome to the league, Jersey. I look forward to going there. Where are we then? Well, there was a couple of interesting results at the weekend involving our sides. But in terms of the overall picture, Three Bridges remain top. They're continuing to go great guns. They no longer have the best attack in the league, though.
Okay.
They've been usurped by AFC Whiteleaf. I think a lot of that.
AFC Whiteleaf. I wonder how they are.
The Phoenix Club, yeah.
Yeah, they won 8-0 at the weekend, didn't they?
They did.
The mighty Crowborough.
The mighty Crowborough, yeah.
Saw a couple of their players yesterday. That's how ironic. Okay.
So yeah, that's not a great result for Crowborough, but I think otherwise they can be pretty happy with how they've begun life back at step 4. They've won 6 games already, which is not. There was a point where they hadn't drawn and they were just win, lose. But you average 1.5 points a game, you're going to stay up. So fair play. So yeah, the league is topped and tailed by Sussex. East Grinstead remain at the foot of the table. despite the managerial changes that have happened there. And the rest of our teams are, well, Hastings also have changed their manager. They've brought in David Altendorf, and they are now out of the relegation zone after 2 wins in a row.
Guy we know well, Dave. Good guy, great guy.
Indeed, lovely fella. But yeah, that was a big win for them to hold on against Beckenham, having been 3-0 up. Beckenham fought back to 3-2, but Hastings held on. So that's a massive confidence booster for them. But result of the weekend, and you can call me biased, you're right, but was Faversham's...
Is it Town?
It is the Eastbourne Town, the mighty Eastbourne Town, ending Faversham's 15-game unbeaten run in the league in style, winning 4-1 away at Faversham. They hit the post and hit the bar as well, I believe. So, brilliant performance. I'm going to avoid more games in future if that's what's going to happen. But that's a brilliant result. And that takes Town back into the top half, above Sittingbourne, which is not what I thought I'd be saying, but here we go.
No.
So yeah, interesting timing, interesting times in the southeast for sure.
What about our other two there? What about those Westlake boys at Sussex?
Sussex are going very strongly. I mean, they lost 2-0 at the weekend to Jersey Bulls. Jersey Bulls.
They win. Was it last night or night before? Was it? They've got a very recent win, haven't they?
They have got a recent win. So here's the form guide. They beat Beckenham 1-0. They also drew at Faversham. Very unlucky. I think it was a 95th minute equaliser for Faversham there. So, who again, they were unbeaten until they came up against the Jude McDonald's Army on Saturday. No.
You're a madman.
So, yeah, great result that. Broadbridge Heath. Last time we were on this show, I said they were in a bit of a false position. I then went and saw them the following Tuesday, and they rewarded my salience with a 5-0 whooping. Thank you, boys. But yeah, I mean, you see what I mean about Whiteleaf. I was at the game against Eastbourne Town a few weeks ago. It was 3-0. Thought Town were unlucky, to be fair, but a couple of moments of quality late doors made it 3-0. But they've now won 5 of the last 6. Again, only losing to Jersey, so they're going some. Yeah, and Three Bridges just carry on going. I'm surprised they lost to Erith, but Erith, to be fair, are now 5 unbeaten. So
yeah, I mean they've only lost twice, haven't they, this season? Three Bridges. Jamie's doing bits up there with that team. Jamie Crennan, a local lad, incredible coach, incredible mind of the game. They say as well, So
I was at the Jubilee Fields for their opening game of the season because it was against Town, and they beat us 5-0. And that was a chastening experience. That was. They were fantastic.
Quite a young side as well, wasn't he? He's got some young ones in there as well.
Yes, they have. Yeah, and they've also got Noel Layton and what's his name? Just had it at the tip. Reece Hallard, who are both like top goal scorers at this level. So that's going to be. They're not going away, and there's a bit of a title battle now with them and Whiteleaf and Faversham and to be fair, in fact, I'll just go back to the table because you've got here, if Croydon win that game in hand, they're on 33 points. So the top four will be within 3 points of one another. Herne Bay refused to go away, so it's going to be we're going to have a title race, which is going to be fun.
I hope so. I'll tell you what, old Simo down up at Broadbridge Heath there. I'm just looking at the thing. He still does it, doesn't he? He still churns them out when needed.
He does indeed. I mean, this is... you read my mind. This is what I've prepped on Broadbridge. So you can just say, like I said, when we last met, they would just come off that narrow defeat at Whiteleaf, and I was saying they were in a false position because they were all the way down here. And I was like, no, the fixtures have just been horrible, which you can see here. They've been horrible. And once they normalise, they'll start getting back. They'll get back into the groove, and we'll start seeing what they're really like. Mm-hmm. And like I said, they then rewarded me with that lovely gubbing at. But they've done this a lot. They've scored a lot of goals actually in recent times of Broadbridge Heath. They've scored 5 3 times at home. They're proving very, very tricky at home.
They've scored 5. Yeah, they've scored 5 goals 3 times in in less than a month.
Yep, and back that up with a 4 against, and back that up with a 4 against VCD as well. So they're not short of goals. It's fair to say they got the second best home attack in the league, and I'd imagine that'll probably be behind Whiteleaf, given what Whiteleaf did at the weekend. But yeah, and they also scored 5 against Crowborough there. So when they're at home, they are a force to be reckoned with.
I'll have to get up and see Simo, make a call, try that out, and come and see what kind of special sauce he's putting in to those burgers up there to make these players score these goals. He's doing a great job.
I'll tell you now, it won't be the burgers.
I think he'll admit that himself, bless him.
Yeah. I had a burger there.
He's in charge of the football, not the catering.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, I had a burger there that night, and that was possibly the worst part of my night, which, considering Town got beat 5-0, is going some. Now, in terms of, I mean, there's a full program tomorrow in the league, and in fact, there's not 1, not 4, but 3 East Sussex derbies.
Talk to me.
3 Sussex, all Sussex games. Well, Simo's boys have got Jersey Bulls at home. That'll be an interesting game.
It'll be an interesting game to see how they travel.
Well, Jersey, yeah.
Because I know that when I was over in Guernsey, I know it's a league different. When I was over there, they're notoriously bad travellers, okay, but strong at home. So that will be one to have a little punt on.
Yeah, I have done a couple of previews. There is another all Sussex affair though at Jubilee Fields as the league leaders Three Bridges play bottom side East Grinstead. I haven't done a preview of that because I think that little graphic there speaks for itself. But we do have a couple of games, and a big derby for me anyway at the Saffrons, as Town welcome Hastings for the first league encounter at the Saffrons, I think, in 14 years.
Is there hatred between your clubs?
I don't know. To be honest, right? Town have been at the level ever since.
If you don't know, there's probably not.
No, it's a bit of a rivalry, I think. But again, like where I've been supporting Town, we've been at step 5, and it was Eastbourne United was the derby, right? Because they're in the same town. You have to go past Bexhill to get to Hastings. So there's a lot of clubs. I think there was a bit of needle over the summer, what with the number of people who departed Town for Hastings. Yeah,
that's what I felt.
So, but equally, quite a lot of them have left Hastings. In fact, one of them came back, JJ Walker. So, look, we're very good. Town have been good at home this season. We've only lost the 1, and we were unlucky to lose that at home to Margate. It was a late red card that done it, and then a moment of quality. Hastings, I mean, they've won 4 games all season. 2 of them were in the last 2, and both against teams in the relegation zone. And one of them against East Grinstead, who have got 3 points all season. So this will be a bit more of an acid test for them. They have won away at Sheppey as well, who are going quite well now. So they're not complete write-offs. And actually Hastings have just signed James Stone from Sevenoaks. Now,
okay.
He was Eastbourne Town's top scorer last season with 20 goals. So
is he a player?
Yeah, I was glad to see him go. I think Town don't, last season we did not score a lot. So to get 20 goals in that team, I think is a good achievement. And I like the guy. He's a nice guy. I wish him well, but not on Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, given our home record and given where Hastings are in the table, it's a game we should be winning. But well, I say should be winning. It's a game we should look to win, and I trust you to do that. But it's going to be a tough one. But the other all Sussex affair, and this was the top 2 in the SDFL Prem last season.
Oh wow! I didn't know this was the game.
Yeah, Hastings versus Crowborough.
2 teams I have a lot of time for. I know you do as well. Hassocks was those Westlake boys. Pat Harding as chairman there. Great guys. Crowborough Athletic. Sean Muggeridge. Fantastic human being really is. Take me through this one.
2 great clubs, 2 great management teams. And yeah, I haven't got a bad word to say about either of them. I think in terms of how things are going at the minute, Crowborough do a lot of their better work at home. they have 1-2 away, but I think having lost 8-0 at the weekend, they are going to want to get straight back at it. So I think they'll go it. They'll have a bit more extra motivation, let's say, just to try and right that wrong.
I mean, I didn't look into that result too much. Allegedly, Whiteleaf have been ready to spank a team, and it just so happens that it was Crowborough's day. What I do know from that isn't it like 3 goals were scored after 90 minutes?
Yes.
If I'm right in saying so, look, you can. I'm not saying no one gave up or heads were gone. I'm just saying when it gets to 5-0 at 90 minutes, you know your fate already. So sometimes you have to.
Oh yeah.
Wait for that whistle.
Well, look, I said on the last time we did this about Uckfield when they got beat by 9 against Reigate, and I said sometimes it's better to just get all the errors out and face it again as new at the weekend or the next time. And then they went on a 3-game unbeaten run, I think, winning 2. And so, look, a defeat and a win. Is 3 points. Better to do that than draw 2. So, but yeah, Whiteleaf have been pumping the goals in. They've scored 4 at home, multiple occasions. They beat Leatherhead 5-3, I think, in the Velocity Cup as well, who are top of the South Central, which we'll come to in a minute. They're not afraid of scoring a few goals at Whiteleaf. So yeah, it can happen, but I'm sure Muggsy will want to get them back at it at the first available opportunity, which is on Tuesday at the Beacon.
Wow. So, give me a quick prediction for that game. Give me a prediction, because we both know we know both camps.
I'm going to go 2-1 Hassocks. I think at the Beacon they're good. They do a lot of their better stuff there. Crowborough are better on the road, better at home, than they are on the road. 2-1 Hassocks.
Yeah, I can't argue against that. To be fair, I could see a draw, but if I had to lay my last 5 on it, I'd say a Hassocks home win.
But just to be completely clear as well, A, like both clubs, B, both can be really happy with their start of the season. Again, if they carry on at this rate, they'll stay up comfortably. So, and good luck to them in both in doing so.
Fingers crossed.
This very oblong region is the South Central. A lot of London teams, but obviously we've got the two to focus on in Bognor and Littlehampton, and it's been a bit of a weird month there as well. So looking at the table, you'll see Bognor now are in the top half, 10th. It was not looking like that for a while.
It wasn't, because I wrote them off. They're still having their pitch done at the moment, aren't they?
They are, yeah. But they've really bounced back. I mean, and again, I think I might have been unduly harsh on Bognor at the start. I think their fixtures, when you look at how the league's now panning out and you look back at their fixtures now, you're thinking, actually, yeah, they've played some good sides, actually.
Yeah.
As we'll come to, But no, back-to-back wins as well for them. In fact, that's 3 sets of back-to-back wins, which, considering they couldn't buy a win earlier on, is great for them. A little more worrying is Littlehampton, who got off to a decent start. We're on the edge of the playoffs, but they've only won 2 of their last 7.
I saw Georgie Gaskin yesterday. I was at some Sunday FA Cup game, and that was at the Sportsman Littlehampton. And there, I didn't talk to him about it. He's a good guy, but they knew it was going to be tough in that league, but they also know that they can turn it around like that. They're such a strange team. One game they could lose 3-0. Next game they come back and win 5-1.
Well, they tend to score either nothing or 3. That tends to be their thing, which is insane.
I know he's struggled for a few players as well. I know he's had some injuries, people out, people unavailable. Old Mitch and Gaskin over there. So I was speaking with their chairman, lovely guy, Matt, as well yesterday. No,
they're a decent club. I went to the sports field last season.
Sportsman.
And yeah, Oh yeah, I've never. I'm not a tall person. All right, I'm not a midget, but I'm not tall. But even I had to duck in that bar they've got at the top.
The bar you go underneath, yeah, because a bit like that.
It's like drinking in a cave. It's mad. It's great. It's brilliant.
It's proper over in LA. Proper.
But yeah, at the form guide, I mean, again, Bognor. I mean, they've had a couple of defeats against pretty good sides in Moneyfields and Westfield. But other than that, they're going really strong. You know, and they beat Hartley Whitney last night, who not last night, sorry, the weekend. And you know, Hartley they've been in the playoff picture for a while as well. So,
keep talking. 1 second, go on my way.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, Bognor can be very, very happy with that. I don't see much fair. Sorry if you're a fan of Bedfont Sports or anyone, but this is a Sussex podcast, so I don't see much value in carrying on with this one. These are the two teams and how they look in the heart of goals for and against.
My beautiful wife has just come home from saving babies all day.
Oh, lovely. So this is the infamous goal chart. You can see I've put Bognor and Littlehampton there. Both got very similar defensive records, but Bognor are at least banging them in one sense. They've got the 9th best attack in the league at nearly 1 3/4 goals a game. Now, Littlehampton don't have the worst attack in the league in terms of goals scored. You know, they're lower mid massively, only just outside the bottom 4, but it's not the worst. But the distribution of them's odd, as I've said before. So I've pulled together here.
How do you find time for all this, mate?
Right. Well, I have the data to hand, so it's not less the time, it's more just how my mind works. So what I've got here, these are the number of games they've played. The darker colours, the blue ones are Sussex. The darker colours are games they've not scored in.
Okay. And
the light ones are the games they've scored in. So Littlehampton have failed to score in 7 games out of their 15, which is nearly half. That's the worst ratio in there. And also the highest number. Now, like I said, they don't actually have the worst in terms of goals per game, because if they're not scoring 0, they're invariably scoring 3. But it's really, really weird. And maybe that's better than scoring 1 every week and losing, or drawing, whatever. But it is very, very peculiar.
Well, like I said, I know they've definitely had they've missed a couple of their strikers have been out, certainly. I know Gaskin was out for a while, anyway. But I haven't seen Marcel for a bit. I'm not sure what's happened to him. But my boy Matt Stormy, he come on and scored the other night.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not like they're not scoring. It's just a case of if they're scoring a few. So if they score early, panic, because they're going to
be on fire.
3-0. Yeah. Now this is Bognor, and again.
Whoa.
So yeah, well, this is the thing, and this comes back to what we were saying. Like, they could not, after that random 5-4 game against Portchester at the start of the season, they could not buy a win. You know, they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 in 7. They got 1 point in 7 games, but something's clicked. Gaz said on the pod on Wednesday, didn't he, about that signing that keeper on the 3rd of October?
Yes. Yeah.
And since then, so you just imagine a line there. Dun. If you won back-to-back game, lost, back-to-back game, lost. But the 2 games they lost were at home to Moneyfield, who are a very good side and are at the topper end of that league. And Westfield, who likewise are in the top end of that league. So, look, they've lost. And also, when I said about the sort of like a similar to Broadbridge situation, you look at the teams they've played. Leatherhead are running away with that league.
Okay.
Range Park Vale were going very well. They were second for a long time. I think they've dropped off a little bit since, but they're doing okay. Harrow Borough are not doing bad at all. Moneyfields, we've just spoken about. Hamworth Villa are in the playoff pictures. So they've had a tough run of games. And then once that's ended, a bit like Broadbridge, things have normalised a bit. So, but yeah, I've also penciled in here when it's estimated they're going to return to Nywood Lane.
Yeah, Trev was saying, we're about a month away or something like that, are we? How far are we away?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. So Bedfont Sports is the game they're currently penciling in, I think. But obviously, if they can get their home record thus far, and again, it's a home record of sorts. They're not at home, but they're not away either. They've won 4 of the 6 games, so they're not doing poorly there. I think it was more a case of they had an awful run of 7 away games out of 8 against some of the best in the league. I think, yeah, this is probably more indicative now of where Bognor should be.
I think you're right. But long may that continue, because you need teams like Bognor to be doing well, especially after they drop down. I used to love the Bognor Worthing bank holiday games, or those kind of games, the rivalry, the Rebels and the Rooks, so I want them to get back up. Don't think it'll be this year, but hopefully with the pitch and get some money into the club, build the infrastructure a bit. They've obviously got really good coaches there.
It's a long-term play, isn't it? So
yeah, it has to be. It has to be, because for many, many, many years, the clubs need a bit of investment in there to sustain where they are. And I think this might actually give them a right kick to kick on, possibly for next season now.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. In terms of the next few games then, they've got the last couple of games then, it'll be at Chichester. They've got the Sarnies, Egham Town, which is the best nickname out there as far as I'm concerned. They've also got Portchester. Now, the last time they met Portchester, it was a barn burner, 5-4. So that could be good fun.
Yeah. Can you tell me when are they playing Little Hampton? It's got to be over Christmas sometime, isn't it?
Well, let's see. Is it in the next 10? Yes, it's first New Year's Day.
Oh, New Year's Day, cool.
So there you go. That could be fun.
There'll be some sore heads around that day, I'll tell you.
You know what they need? Dog, right? So
some of them might go straight from going into the game. They might still be on it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, particularly if they move the kickoff. So you've got Little Hampton. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on over the next few weeks, given their Jekyll and Hyde nature. Hayes and Yedding away on Saturday is going to be a tough one. They're not messing about, Hayes and Yedding. Then it's a couple of nice games, I suppose. Horndean at home and Harrowborough at home. You would hope that. I mean, I'm sure Mitch and George are going to want 6 points out of those two. So
yeah, they'll be looking for them.
So get on the threes. Yeah. But then after that, league, come on, here we go. County League again.
Here we go. The SCFL.
Strap in. Now, again, thank you, Guernsey, for extending my map.
I love Guernsey. They were the best. They gave the best hospitality. A fantastically run club over there. I loved it. I'd live over there, but I'm just not in that tax bracket.
I was going to say, I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Now, league table, where are we at? Well, Hayward Heath are making it quite boring. Get a grip, guys. Get a grip. No, we're joking. You're doing fantastically well. 14 wins in a row. Only conceded 6. Earlier in the month, they went 19 hours without conceding a goal, which is just absolute. It's insanity. That is fantastic stuff.
The Kev Green, well-oiled machine, isn't it? They look like they're in that mindset where they have to win every game. They have to win. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed. Well, they're now second favourites for the FA Vars.
I know. I saw that they got a home draw against
Berks County.
Berks County. That's it. And I'll tell you what. I was on a podcast last night with In Bed by 10 Lee Penn and Billy Wood, and we had Liam Giles on there, right? The Horsham manager, a Horsham YM manager, and he said teams around there won't fancy playing Hayward Heath, and he tipped them to potentially go to Wembley.
I would bet. I'd back it at the minute. I think just how I say
what the odds are. I wonder what the odds are for them to get to the Vars final there.
Right.
A few quid. That one. If anyone's on there on the chat in the comments, try and find out if there's a price for Hayward Heath to win the Vars.
I used to work in a bookies. In fact, I used to work for the help desk. I know a bit about odds compilation. I'll tell you how it will work. It's 5-1 Hayward Heath win the Vars. Now, usually these things, in terms of the each way, they go like quarter the odds first two. So
that's only just over even money.
Yeah, 5-4. You know what I mean?
That is how they've turned around. You know, Steve, the chairman, he got a lot of shit. I know him personally. He got a lot of shit when he had to change his managers last season, and that come from some of the fans too. And I've got some close friends in those fans, and he stuck by. He knew Kev was the guy. Kev had that vision. Gav as the coaches, you know, they're a proper unit. They are, that should be a step above at least. And I was speaking to on that podcast last night. People were moaning that they were saying about, oh, this budget, that budget. Okay, that is a club. That is a club that gets arses through the turnstile. Yeah, they get numbers through the turnstile. They don't get 50, 60, 70 or anything like that. They get in the hundreds. Yeah. So they also have a lot fantastic on-site stuff with the CAF on there. You know, it's a proper sustainable club. There's a great guy in that club, Mr. Stone, as well, who knows all about that.
I mean, other than Guernsey, Hayward Heath have got the highest average attendance in the league so far, 176. Now, Guernsey do have a slight advantage in terms of geography and their sort of unique setup there.
Yeah, I mean, their setup at Guernsey is better than Worthing FC's. I've had the tour, the videos online on Lee Penn's channel, Football League Adventures. But yeah, Guernsey setup, if you get to go into it or you go and have a away day over there, it's phenomenal. They have a restaurant on site, and it's not a bar. It's a bar and a restaurant. You know what I mean? They have a doctor's room. They have cameras that beam the game to all the islanders around Guernsey, like what we'd have ITV Meridian type thing. Yeah, they get it. Yeah, it's mad.
I think Jersey do as well. I think Jersey do because I'm sure Hassocks were retweeting the link. So
they actually every year hold a cup called the Moretti Cup. Yeah. And last Moretti Cup was the first one Guernsey won in a few years. And there was 3,000 watching that game. Wow. 3,000. Yeah. So anyone that does want to go to a Guernsey away day, when you're playing your teams, try and go the day before. Go the day before, see the beautiful island that is. They love the mainlanders. There's no aggro, and there is, beautiful bars and restaurants. Go and have a day out, but take a few quid.
Save up. No, that's fine. So yeah, Hayward Heath absolutely killing it, and I'd be absolutely astonished if they didn't end up winning the league. But behind them, it is getting spicy. So Stenning have won 7 in a row now. They got off to a bit of a bumpy start. I think it's fair to say. I think even they probably would have wanted to have been higher, but 7 in a row now. They're cooking on gas now.
Yeah, their front line are scoring for Fana, Bridges and that. Blimey, Jarvis, all that lot.
Well, even Hayward Heath. I mean, they weren't struggling in that department anyway, and then they went and signed Tom Chalet and Callum Barwell. So
Chalet's doing bits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he scored at London Samurai on Friday night. So
2-0 away winning the Vars, wasn't it?
Yeah, and congratulations on that point to the 3 sides we've got remaining in the Vars. Hayward Heath, Crawley down Gatwick, who had a good run last year as well.
Yeah, my mate Dave the chairman, legend of a guy. Text me today, bless him.
It's a great club to visit if you can get there. It's a really nice place. And then Eastbourne United as well. Well done to them, beating Epsom and Ewell. They've gone out of 2 cup competitions in and around Eastbourne, Epsom and Ewell, because they lost to Borough in the FA Cup. So there you go.
Bit of a dark place for them to come in your manor.
Yeah. Come to Eastbourne, you better not miss. Anyway, so yeah, in terms of well done for the Vars. In terms of at the top, yeah, you've got Stenning cooking now. As a Peacehaven, 6 wins in a row for them now. After again a bit of a rocky start.
I saw Peacehaven. I saw them at Goring Meets again playing YM, right? And YM was by far the better side on the day. That was not questionable. But it looked a different Peacehaven. I think even Coach Charles said that was the best type of Peacehaven he'd seen, because I think they played them already a couple of times and maybe in a cup as well.
Yeah.
But they have fantastic facilities down at Peacehaven. I've been down there. Beautiful. It really is. It's really appealing if you live in that area, want to play a great standard, and their coaches are really good guys as well. But yeah, I mean that's just they are top of the form guide with Stenning, Hayward Seath. Yeah, wow.
Indeed they are. Yeah. So on to that before we go here. Yep, there you go. 3 teams are 6-0. Hayward Heath, Stenning, and Peacehaven. They're the ones to catch at the moment. Pagham aren't going away. The only team they've lost to actually in 6 is Horsham YM, who are a very good side. They've now won 4 in a row after a bit of a bumpy run. But again, a bumpy run that was fixture driven, I think.
Gaz and Trev were down there for the game, weren't they, the weekend?
The Peacehaven game, yes.
Pagham. Yeah. Lemmy doing bits. It's good to see Lemmy Ewan and the lads doing their class guy. Lemmy, class guy. I always thought, he worked so hard down at Midhurst and Eastbourne, and whatever happened down there happened. But he did everything down there as well. Let it be known that he was out there doing maintenance, doing grass, doing stuff like that. Whilst also running that team. Shout out Lemmy. I like Lemmy. A lot of time for that guy.
But even then, you look at the games that Pagham have played over those last 6 as well. They've won at Roffey, which is not an easy thing to do.
No.
They won away at Guernsey, and you've said how strong they are at home relative to their away. They've given out a few batterings this season. That's
a big win there, going there, because you're going to get 900 to 1,000 at Guernsey every home game, every away game. They'll bring 10 people. It just is how it is.
But fair, but on the island as well, to win there. I mean, New Haven were unbeaten until they went to Guernsey, and Guernsey
7-1.
Yeah, they don't mess about on the island. So to win there is great. And then Bexhill's a great result. They've been going really, really well this season.
They surprised me. Billy Wood told me. Is it true? I mean, you're down that way. You're from those kind of manor around there. Yeah. Can they not go up? Well, yeah. Can they not go up?
I don't know for sure, but the setup at the Polegrove is quite unique.
Is it like a cricket ground as well? Isn't it?
But there's
I've
also
never been down there. I have to go and see Bourne Trotter.
I'll tell you what. If you do, it's got the best. It's got a really lovely stand. As Bexhill, it's like really the Polegrove. It's a really, really sort of quaint sort of stand. It's really nice, but it is a really open venue, and I mean that it's a bit like Seaford situation, I think, in terms of access is it's pretty public. So closing it off becomes a problem, which I think that might be some of the issues that Seaford have had of late. The
issues they've had is the council a bunch of knobheads.
Well, there is that, but yeah, no. So Billy will likely know more about that. He's from round here. I just live near here. So
yeah.
Well, I live here. You can't live near here when I'm in my own house. So anyway, that's the top end. By the way, in 6th place in the form guide, is Seaford Town, who are going some at the moment.
I know. I'm made up for Wisely because it took a bit of shit, when they're having a tough run. And he said to me, he went, "You should watch, I'll get my players back. players he trusts, and they trust him. He said, "Wait till I get my players back. You watch start creeping up the league." And that's and he and then there's been some things online today. I won't mention what happened, but there's been some stuff banded about figures and that. Shout out Big Ash for making the net talk, but what he proposed that Wisey had available to him there was nowhere near the truth. He gets support. He's got a great community there and great committee. People like Pooley and Sarah over there. But he's doing wonderful. Him, Darts, all the boys.
Oh, infinity window. Didn't want that. Now, what I'm showing here isn't what I was planning on showing, but seeing as we're talking about Seaford, I messaged this to Wisey after they beat Lancing, I think. Oh, I tell you what, it was that because that was the one that was taking place at New Haven, and nobody was updating the scores on all the websites. So I just messaged Wisey direct. I said, "What was the score?" And I said, "Look, you've had an awfully hard start now in terms of fixtures. Now, I showed this last time. I think it was with relation to Worthing actually, and it might have been Broadbridge. And just saying,
I think Simo's lot,
yeah." And I said how hard their start had been. So this was who they'd played up till then. This was Seaford, like markedly harder start than basically everybody else.
So that tells me, based on where they are now, they've played the harder teams in that thing already. Yeah.
That was true at that point in time.
That's what it's supposed to represent. This graph.
Yeah. And it was true at the point in time when I did it, but not obviously things have moved since. But yeah, that was Seaford. Now, if I go back to my deck, here we go. Seaford, they've now had what I would class as a bit of a more normal-ish run of fixtures, but they've also they lost 4-2 to Crawley Down Gatwick. Now Crawley Down Gatwick score a lot, concede quite a few, so that can happen.
Yeah.
They won at Little Common 4-2. Now Little Common have been decent this season, so that's a good result. Peacehaven, as I've said, 1-6 in a row. They're flying fine. But then they backed that up with 5-1 wins against Shoreham and Roffey. Roffey are not bad.
No, they're not. Jack Mundy, he's preparing stuff. He's got some big things coming in the future. He has wonderful new stadium coming in maybe a year's time or something like that that's being built. But I think he's just changed his goalkeeper as well, Jack Mundy. Goldie Mont has been replaced at the moment, which is a shame because I mean he's only 19 himself. Monty Watson Price, the most posh name in football, but he also manages the under-18s. So I'm not sure what's happened there, but maybe Jack's gone for a bit more experience.
Indeed, but it's worth saying that obviously, so well done Seaford for being sixth. Chuff for them. At the bottom, things are going a little bit differently for two teams in particular, Shoreham and Van Dinians, who are both by the bucket load. Now, if you look, so this is the goal chart for the combination. Now, what I've done here, it's weird how this has got lined up. You've got Hayward Heath miles clear of the pack. We know that.
Yeah.
Then you've got this group of four here. This is the current playoffs. These are the teams in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is weird. And then you've got these sort of two. I mean, these are the bottom three. And then you've got a bit of a morass in the middle. It's weird how it's like so neat. How it's just so much like that. And
it's actually backing up. The stats are backing up what the graph is visually showing you compared to the table.
So it's nice when these things fall into place. But Shoreham.
Whoa, what's happened here? Has your daughter been drawing? What's going on here?
So you're not going to believe this. This is every one of them lines is a team who's been in the Prem since the start of 21-22.
Right.
And each line is a team and a season. So, for example, Crawley Down Gatwick will have 5 lines on here because they've been in the league throughout.
Okay.
And this is how many goals they concede over an 8-game period. Now, Shoreham in 8 games have conceded 38 goals. Actually, no, hang on a minute. There's 7 games. Yeah, I don't know why it says 8, 7. Now, that is a heck of a lot of goals to be conceded. Oh, it's replaced it. Right, hang on. Give me a minute. Because that, for some reason, is Horsham. The graph is correct. Okay. That isn't. But luckily, because I'm a nerd, and I haven't actually changed anything yet, I can just flick this back to
giving away your secret sauce, so now, aren't you?
A little bit. You're assuming people are still watching.
Well, actually, there's over 500 people watching you at the moment, mate.
Okay.
So no pressure now.
That's all right. Here we go. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Is that a tash you got going on there? Is that a Movember, or is that just like you just fancied it?
It is for Movember. I usually shape it into a Greek number because I'm that much of a geek.
Oh, you've gone for a little Greeky tash, have you?
Omega tash, yeah. So
right. I like it. Shout out to the tash. Movember.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you now. You've raised it. I'll tell the story. So my dad, he's brilliant. He's fine and well now. He was fine and well at the time. When he turned 50, his work sent him for a medical, and they found that he had at the very, very early stage of prostate cancer. Sent him for treatment because they caught it dead early. They sent him for treatment, and it was fine. So get it, honestly, lads. Once you get past a certain age, get yourselves checked because it just does not hurt.
I totally agree with that. And whilst you're there, we just mentioned them actually, Seaford.
Yes,
they have been a fantastic advocate for Movember. I had the absolute honour of doing the 90k challenge with them, with their team. That was from Selsey all the way to Seaford. They did it in 24 hours, and I was in the support bus, mate, eating all the foods and doing the ones. But those boys out there, you know, they really did it because they actually had a couple of players, 2 or 3 players, actually, sadly get cancer over the last 2-3 years, and all pull through. You know, so they done some great things with Movember, and by all accounts, that is now a long-standing thing. So, congratulations to them. But for any of the blokes out there, you know, I always used to be like that. I used to be one of those guys that if you don't go, you don't know, but you don't want to know. Do you see what I'm getting at, Chris?
100%. Ignorance is bliss, but until it's not, really. So,
and I'll be 100% honest, right? I had a little thing down there once, and I left it for, I'm saying, maybe 6 months, yeah? And it started causing me a bit of discomfort. And in the back of my mind, all I could think of was, it has to be that. Do you know what I mean? But you know what I couldn't do? Was take myself down, literally take myself down to the doctors to get it checked, right? And I got down there, done all the tests and all that lot, and it turns out it was nothing, okay? It really was nothing. And I was like, and the relief comes over you, but at the same time, a bit of shame come over me, right? Because, excuse my language, I didn't have the bollocks to go down to the doctors to get it done. And in what position would I have left my children and my wife in if something was there and it was too late? So now, you know, if I get a cold, I'm lying on that sofa like I've got the proper man flu, and I'll be on the phone to the doctor, you know. So the moral of the story is, even, you know, if you think there's something that might be wrong, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not. And that anxiety and that stress and that guilt will go. You'll walk out there like a new man. You know, so especially in this month where it is highlighted in November. Sorry to rabbit on.
No. Look, it's a good message to spread, so more than happy with that. Particularly if you're of the Shoreham persuasion, you don't want to look at my lovely graph. Now, what this is, we'll know what's happened at Shoreham. The new manager, Josh Rondell, came and went, and they shipped a heck of a lot of goals. And I was of the view that this was a historic sort of number of goals, so I thought I'd look into it. Now, I have, the game fixture by fixture over the last sort of 5 seasons to hand. So I thought I'd look at this. The only team who've conceded more over a sort of rolling 7-game period than Shoreham have is the East Preston team of 21-22 when they got relegated with 9 points.
And they were dire then, and that's when they were crap, you know. But no, I'll be honest, because it was the year before I was doing the 23s,
right?
You know? Yeah, for East Preston. That's facts, and that team were crap. Okay, but that's not the team now. The team now. I saw the East Preston side at the weekend. He's got some players there, Kev. I tell you, Kev, he has. So what are you saying about? We obviously know it's a grim position to be in. Now, a few people mentioned him on the podcast I was on last night. Yeah, the new guy, and he's only young, Connor. I don't want people to start career assassinating him before he started. There is no doubt that he knows the absolute mammoth task that's ahead of him. That's unquestioned. Okay. And I believe, if I'm right in saying, because we had the manager on last night, they've got YM at the weekend, haven't they?
Yep. Goring's
who are looking hot.
Indeed, they are.
So it could be one of those moments. It could be one of those Jose moments, couldn't they? You know, those Porto v Man United moments where something happens, and the team that's in form just suddenly loses to the team that's not in form. But personally, I wish him really well, because
I have no beef. I have no beef with any club. I'm literally just a stats. I'm literally just a stat head. So I will just call out things that are interesting. And look, they're the only. This is the bottom 1%. Of defensive records out there, right? So Loxwood last season and East Preston are the only ones who've got above 30 goals, and Shoreham got 38. So statistically, it is a massive outlier. It's the only reason I call it. It's not because I've got any beef with Shoreham. I've never been. So, but yeah, the fixtures don't look great because they've got YM away, Wick at home, Stenning away, Roffey at home, Peacehaven away, Little Common at home. Those 3 away games, YM, Stenning, and Peacehaven, all going really, really well. That's that would be of grave concern to me personally.
Yeah, but at the same time, the young lad pulls off these results, and all eyes on him. Like
Indeed.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, hang on. I'm looking for a browser window instead of this. No wonder I'm losing my mind. Right, here we go. So that's wrong. I'll get that corrected. But in terms of Stenning, I mean, like I said, they've won 7 in a row now, unbeaten in 8. They've only lost 1 this season. They've just, at the start of the season, they were in that period where they were just drawing a lot.
And they're scoring goals for fun now, though, aren't they?
Oh, look at that. I mean, they've not scored fewer than 3 in their last 7.
They're looking electric going forward. They really are. Hammy, Hollis, Buddy, all that down there. Cracking job. And I reckon a lot of that work was that they had to take their medicine last year, right?
Yeah.
They had to invest in the infrastructure. Wonderful change room, wonderful surface and that down there, new change rooms, everything like that. Beautiful mural outside as well. But they had to invest in the infrastructure, and that obviously weighed them down last year. And now they get to reap the rewards. They're a very, very, very good team. They really are. And they are the burger champion of Sussex. You know, undisputed at the moment, to be fair.
The entry-level Bundesliga champions. I mean, they. I remember you boys saying at the end of the season last season, like, because obviously the compare and contrast there was Stenning and Lansing because they were the two Sussex sides who went down, and you were all saying like Stenning will be fine, like they'll kick. You know, they've, as you said, taken their medicine. They've kind of played the long game a bit.
A very well-run club. A very, very well-run club.
So they're going great guns and good on them. And like I say, it's now. Then they won't thank me for saying this because of the current league table, but the day after Boxing Day, they host Haywards Heath.
Oh, no way. Who's at home? Who's at home?
They host Haywards Heath, so they're at home.
Stupid Mike. Sorry, mate. They host. Oh, that's going to be a cracker.
But you look here as well, that the next 13th through to the 27th, they've got YM at home, Pagham away, Haywards Heath at home. That is box office. Now,
there's nothing to say. All it takes is Kev's boys at Haywards Heath to drop a little point there. Go there. Might start getting a little bit squeaky bum time, as they say. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got YM, Pagham and Peacehaven on doing bits.
Well, yeah, indeed. And talk of Peacehaven, they're the next slide on my little thing, because I just wanted to say what a great job they've been doing of late as well. Because come mid-September, I was a bit, or even early October actually, I was a bit, what's going on with Peacehaven? I expected far more. And to be fair, they've won every game since. So
yeah, fair
play to them. You know, Roffey again, they've not been beating complete mugs. Either Seaford have showed they're no slackers. You know, Roffey away, that's a tough place to go, the Theatre of Trees. Not many teams will come away from that with a win. So
beautiful venue.
Yeah, well, and tomorrow they've got Forest Row. Now, obviously, Forest Row, it's not the Forest Row it was who were going great guns at the start of the season. We know that. So
no, that's clear.
So they've lost 3 in a row now. Let's see how that goes. I think I did fancy Seaford to beat them at the weekend. Nearly ended up going. It was just a miscommunication between me and my mate. It was why we didn't go. So, but it would have been. I'd fancy Peacehaven to win that, and again, then we'll really see where we're at.
Okay. Well, yeah, good on it. Good set of lads there, the Peacehaven boys.
Just in case you didn't see the Bognor and Littlehampton fixtures last time, and here it is again. I leave nothing to chance. Now, here we go. Division 1, and boy oh boy, do we have a division on our hands here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, I was at the Worthing United EP game at the weekend. Shout out to Mr. Sanderson, chairman there, for his hospitality, and shout out to Kaza and Sooty, the two managers. Obviously, took care of the bar bill that we left. So, cheers, lads.
Single-handedly bankrupting Step 6 clubs. Wow, what a division we've got.
Asked for it.
You asked for that, though. Now, Godalming were 6 points clear in early November with a game in hand. It's now been cut back to 3 points by 2 teams, actually. Billingshurst, who've scored 40 goals in 15 games. They're just flying in at Billingshurst. And the aforementioned Worthing United as well.
I know.
Now, the other two...
I can't call this league, really.
The two below them, Infinity and Arundel, have got a game in hand. If they win that, then you've got Infinity on 30 points and Arundel on 29. You have the top 5 split by just 3 points.
I know, and I saw East Preston that are in 9th, and first half on Saturday they were 2-0 up and were battering Worthing United. Second half it was totally the reverse, but it means they've got that in the locker, and out of nowhere Selsley have popped up.
Well, indeed, yeah. I mean, more on them in a minute. I mean, it's even just going down. I mean, if you look at there seems to be a bit of a dividing line between 10th and 11th. So Woolcountians on 22 points, and they're only 4 points off the playoffs, and they're 4 points above Oakwood in 11th. So that race for the playoffs is gonna be topsy turvy. I mean, last year Arundel proved what could be done. You time your run right, you go on a run, you time it right, you get it right. So
not 9. They won 9 out of 11, didn't they?
Oh, it was insane. It was ridiculous.
And they were 3-1 up in the playoff semi.
Yeah.
And drew 3-3 and lost on penalties. It could have been so different for Craigie Stewart and Joss over there. And I would have loved to have seen them go up. I really would have. But they've got a major chance this year. But so's everyone else around them.
It's just
Chris, what's happening?
It's brilliant. Well, I mean, in terms of what's going on at the moment, Selzy, as you say, are doing bits. Their 6-game winning run, which is pretty good. I mean, a lot of them have been to nil. They kept 4 clean sheets in their last 5 games, but then they did concede 4 at Copthorne. They still won, but it's just nuts. No rhyme or reason to it. Billingshurst, Arundel, Infinity, all going, and Worthing United all going well. Godalming Town are in 9th in the form guide. Now,
right.
Let's come to.
Well, they drew with Jarvis Brook at the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, which I think is it's again a tough place to go. Jarvis Brook has started very well actually, and they're in that sort.
What's your ear as well, Chris? Someone asked me on that podcast last night about Godalming Mo, the managers. That crazy stat you come up with. How many defeats in like 50 odd games?
It'd be 3 in 53, I think. Now
3 defeats in 53 games.
Yep. 38 plus 50. Yeah, 3 in 53. They lost 2 last season. It was a lot of draws that derailed them.
That's incredible.
Yeah. He's defensive.
And he's had nothing to show for it.
Not yet, but he's only. I mean, that's in a season and a bit of league games. They did get, they did get into the playoffs.
Very unlucky.
And looking at it now, I mean, he said when he was on earlier in the season, defensively, he's got no qualms. Going forward is where he wants to see improvements, and that is bearing out in the numbers. They've scored 28 goals, which I think is the second lowest in the top half. So,
wow.
Only Jarvis Brook have scored fewer in the top half, and then you've got the likes of Woolcountians have scored, 6 more.
They've only scored 8 more than Copthorne, who are bottom.
Yeah,
who can't buy a win.
Well, quite. And to be fair to Copthorne, we've got 2 games in hand. But
however, they are solid at the back.
Very much so, yeah. And that was clear last season as well. I think it was a lot of low-scoring draws were what did for them last season. Now this season's a little different, and I'll come on to that in a minute. This is the goal. This is the goal chart. Now, I've left the.
Everyone's in the middle.
Yeah, well, this is it. I've left the boxes. The reason I leave the boxes where I do, right, is so that's across the whole piece of what I cover, right? But then these bands, this blue band for each league moves based on what's the sort of middle sort of range for that league, right? And I mean, you can see here that like when it was in the National League South, it was all around here. Like that blue square in the middle was about here.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot better defensively than these leagues, right? Now, Godalming are only just above the league average in terms of goals per game, which, considering they were absolutely streaking ahead at the start, doesn't make a grand deal of sense. But it's because they're the best defence in the league, and then Worthing United are not far behind either. So now, in terms of 2 teams I've picked here, Godalming's the first. I mean, they were, as I say, runaway leaders. They won the first 7 games, and they've only lost 1, but they've drawn a heck of a lot. And it's them low-scoring draws again that they had a lot of at the early part of last season. But if you look at the fixtures, they've drawn with Selzy, who are going very well now.
Yeah.
They drew at Infinity,
who are a very good team.
Indeed. They drew at Billingshurst,
who are probably one of the most entertaining teams so far, who have an amazing season.
And they've got the best attack in the league, right?
Yeah.
And they've drawn at Jarvis Brooks. That's 4 pretty respectable draws, I think, in the main.
And Jarvis Brook have been one of the stories of the season so far. They really have. The way they've, they've come up, changed their manager, and still put themselves in a position to have a fantastic season.
Completely agree. Yeah, but so it looks, again, if you just look at the top level numbers, or if you just glance at the table every now and then, you think, oh gosh, what's happened to Godalming? That's kind of what's happened. They've just had a really, again, tough run of fixtures, particularly the away ones. They haven't lost any of them.
No.
You come back at the end of the season, and if they end up winning the league, those draws actually will probably they'll be actually quite thankful for them, really. Now that's the first number team, but the second team, it has to be Selzy. Given everything, like the form.
Just look at that trajectory.
Yeah, that's
when they and I'll be honest, we don't speak much about them because, well, we have
in Hampshire.
Yeah, to be fair, every time I've gone down to Selzy, it's always been windy, cold, and that. But they're really, really lovely bunch down there. I had a good record down there, to be fair.
But yeah, they'd won one of their first 10. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9? One of their first 9, and then they've won their last 6. They are.
What's changed? What's changed? I haven't heard so much about them. All the signings or anything like that?
No, I haven't, to be fair. And I think there's probably something in that because both sides of the coin have improved. If you look, I mean, this graphic actually shows it pretty nicely. So let's just mark the Godalming. Well, actually, go before the Godalming game, I would, because a 0-0 draw away at Godalming is a very, very good result. But yeah, all of a sudden, they're keeping a lot of clean sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 7. But also here on the positive, on the goal side of the ledger, they were only scoring. They scored a maximum of 2, and quite 1, 2, 3, 4 times they blanked. They haven't blanked now in 6, and they've scored 4, a 4, a 6.
What happened in that Copthorne game? The 6-4. What a game that would have been.
Fly keepers. I mean, what I will say for Copthorne as well, they beat Oakwood 4-1. I think when they beat in their only win of the season so far. They beat them 4-1, so they've obviously got something going at Copthorne. So, but yeah, I think they obviously just prefer the rather than the sort of heavyweight tactical boxing fight. They just prefer the gloves off, scrapping a pub car park sort of game. Just keep on swinging. Now,
old school.
Indeed.
Please,
now, the fixtures at the weekend. There's a
go on. What we got?
Well. Leaders Godalming go to East Preston. Now that
won't be easy.
That's a difficult game to call.
No, not from what I saw. Not at all.
No, it'd be a difficult game to call. As actually, I think we'll walk out versus Infinity. It's a long old trek for Infinity to go up to basically London. But for me, there's only one place to be focusing the eyes, and that is Worthing United versus Billingshurst.
Do you know they were talking about this game after the game, and you find 2 teams that have really done great stuff this year. Especially, I think Billingshurst. I think, especially they were drawing 3-3. You want to go and see goals, go down to Billingshurst. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they both have 2 fantastic attacks, young attacks as well.
Yeah, Worthing have got the second best defence behind Godalming. They've only conceded 17 and 15, which is at this level is very, very good. So, but yeah, Billingshurst have gone from, I would say, entertainers to serious contenders now. They are, look at this.
Put some respect. Yeah, put some respect on their name.
Yeah,
they're now challengers. 100%.
They won 3-0. They won 3-0 at Jarvis Brook. Now, that is not an easy thing to do.
No.
And then there's been a few 4-0s, 5-0s. Drew with Godalming, which again feels like a bit of a marker. This is going to be, I mean, again, it's another tough fixture because Godalming have played both of these of recent weeks, and now these 2 have got each other. It's
weird. It's like a 6-pointer at the top, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because both of those teams could win that league.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the league that keeps on giving. This is the game of the weekend for me.
I know.
Sure.
I do love the SCFL. I mean, look, nationally, it don't really get me that excited unless I'm at a Worthing game. Isthmian is what it is, but the SCFL, I love it. I love it.
Well, it was
give me a prediction then. Give me a prediction for that Worthing night. Desmond Tutu. Yeah, is that what you mean?
Yep. Both teams are very good going forward. I'm going 2-2.
I can't argue against that either. I'm going to go score draw. There's definitely going to be goals.
But yeah, I'd say get yourself if you're at a loose end and need a game to go to, this will be the one.
Yeah. Go and see Joe behind the bar. She's always good for a beer. That Worthing night.
But yeah, that's Stats Your Lot. I mean, I will get this out in a PDF at some point in the not too distant.
Chris, your dedication to this and what you give everyone in your own time. You don't get paid for this. It's not a subscription or anything like that. This is stuff you do in your own time, and you do it because people. You've got 600 people. You've got 600 people watching you now. Okay, you know. And I know they're looking at that Tash as well. They're looking at that Tash in there, but you're the way you visualize it, the way you present it, and all the stuff you have to do in the background is an absolute ball ache, and it is a real fantastic job that you do for everyone else's benefit. So, Chris, you know what I mean? And as I said, there's clubs out there. Get in contact with Chris if you feel there's something that you can do. You know, have a word with him. Send him send him a DM, and that because he is an alien. He's not right. He's not well in there. You know what I mean? He just comes out with all these crazy stats, and he knows them, but he does it for everyone else out there, for you guys. Chris, thank you, mate.
No, that's good. The main reason I do it is to try and drive people to go and watch their local non-league club, right? So, clubs, if you're listening, I mean, Pagham have reached out to us. I'm now providing stuff for their program. But get it on, I'm doing it to try and draw people to the games, ultimately. So that's all I'm doing it for. So, yeah, use it. Feel free to use it. You've got my permission. I put my name on it and stuff, so don't worry about that. Just get it used.
Well, that's it, you know. Yeah, but make sure if you're going to use Chris's stuff out there and stick it in your program or anything like that, you know, drop him a message.
Just let us know.
And maybe sort him out a beer when you see him. But he's that guy, and he'll continue doing this because he loves it himself for everyone else. But Chris Pryor, the Sussex Statman, thank you, my man. We will see you. Well, you'll be on the weekly show on Wednesday. Are you going away soon, aren't you? You going on holiday?
Yeah, well, that's why we've delayed this one. So it's not the first of the month. It's gone slightly into it, and it'll do the same in December as well. And then back at it on nearer the first of the month from the new year.
Lovely. Wicked. Well, Sussex Statman, it's been a pleasure. And for everyone who stayed on, fantastic numbers again. Thank you ever so much for your support of the brands we're on. It's true. I truly appreciate it. You've been absolutely fantastic. As I said, we do all of this because we just want to help you clubs out, get more people through the turnstiles, more promotion for Sussex non-league football. And we don't ask a shilling for it. We do it because we love it. Evening all. Take care.
Cheers, everyone.